Attention, coin collectors! What if I told you that some pennies out there are worth thousands of dollars? Yep, you heard that right. In today's video, we're revealing the top 4 ultra-rare pennies that could be hiding in your change. These aren't your average coins. These are hidden treasures that every serious collector dreams of finding. Stick around to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. Number 1. Hey there! Welcome to today's video. If you're a coin collector or just curious about rare finds, you're in the right place. Today, we're talking about a fascinating coin, the 1980 penny. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a penny, right? Well, that's where you're wrong. Some 1980 pennies are worth thousands of dollars. And no, it's not a joke. These pennies have a unique minting error that could make them incredibly valuable. Let's dive in and see why this coin is a treasure for collectors. First, let's cover the basics. The 1980 penny features Abraham Lincoln on the front, and on the back, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial. The D means this penny was minted in Denver. But what really sets some of these pennies apart is a rare error. It's called a double die obverse, or DDO. This means the penny was struck twice, causing certain parts of the coin to appear doubled. You'll mostly notice this on the date, the 1980, and sometimes the words, Liberty, and In God We Trust. So, how do you spot one? Grab a magnifying glass, and carefully look at the date. If you notice some faint doubling or a blurry outline around the numbers or letters, you've got a potential treasure on your hands. Now, you might be wondering, why is this penny so valuable? Well, it's all about rarity. Minting errors are rare, and when one of these pennies is found, collectors get excited. Not only does the error make it unique, but the 1980 penny is part of a popular series. So, what's the value of a 1980 penny with this error? In some cases, it can be worth anywhere from $4,500 to $58,000. Yes, you heard that right. The value depends on how clear the doubling is and the overall condition of the coin. If you find one of these, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. A well-graded coin can fetch a much higher price than one in rough condition. Here's a quick tip: always check the condition of the coin. A coin that's well preserved will usually be worth more than one with significant wear or damage. So, have you found any rare coins in your collection? Or maybe you've come across a 1980 penny? Drop a comment below and let us know what you've discovered. Who knows, you could be sitting on a hidden gem. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more tips on coin collecting. Thanks for watching. Number 2. Today, we're going to talk about a coin you might not expect to be worth a lot, the 1966 US 1-cent coin. You might think it's just a regular penny, but trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. If you're a collector or even just someone interested in rare finds, you'll want to stick around. First, let's break down the basics of the 1966 penny. It features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. These designs were created by Victor David Brenner and Frank Gasparo. The coin itself was minted in huge quantities in 1966. But here's the kicker: some of these pennies have rare errors that could make them worth a lot more than their face value. So, what's the big deal about the 1966 penny? It's the errors that make certain ones incredibly valuable. Some 1966 pennies were struck with a double die obverse error. This means that during the minting process, the coin was struck twice, which caused the details, especially the date, to appear doubled. Look closely at the date, 1966, and you might see a faint shadow or double image of the numbers. If the doubling is strong, you've got yourself a valuable find. Also, check the word Liberty. That's another area where you might notice the doubling, but that's not all. Another rare variety of this coin has off-center strikes, where the design is shifted on the coin. These also add value, but the real gem is the double die penny. Now, let's talk about why these pennies are so valuable. It's all about rarity. Minting errors are rare, and collectors love them. When a coin with an error like a double die obverse is discovered, it becomes a hot commodity. And the 1966 penny is especially valuable because of the transition in U.S. coinage at the time. In the mid-1960s, the U.S. Mint was switching from silver to copper and nickel for coins, making any coin from this era a bit more special. So, how do you spot a valuable 1966 penny? Here are a few tips. 1. Examine the date. Look closely at 1966. If you see doubling or a blurry second set of numbers, that's a sign of a double die error. 2. Check Liberty. Take a close look at the word Liberty. If you see any additional outlines or shadows around the letters, you might have a double die penny. 3. Use magnification. Grab a magnifying glass or loupe for a better look. Rotate the coin in the light, which can help highlight any doubling or subtle errors. 4. Condition. The better condition the coin is in, the more it's worth. If it's in mint condition with little to no wear, it will be worth more than a coin that's been through a lot of damage. So, what's the value of a 1966 penny with these errors? Well, if you find a double die obverse penny, it could be worth anywhere from $8,000 to $70,000, depending on the condition and how strong the doubling is. Yes, that's right. A single penny worth 1 cent could fetch tens of thousands of dollars. But remember, the value of the coin can depend on several factors, including how noticeable the error is and the overall condition of the coin. If you do find one of these rare pennies, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded by a trusted company like PCGS or NGC. Here's a question for you. Have you ever found a rare coin, or maybe a penny that turned out to be worth a lot more than you expected? Drop a comment below and let me know your experience. That's all for today's video. If you learned something new, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tips on coin collecting. Thanks for watching, and good luck hunting for those hidden treasures. Want to learn more about rare coins or how to start your collection? Check out these videos right here. See you in the next one. Number 3. If you're a fan of rare coins or just love finding hidden treasures, you're in for a real treat today. In this video, we're talking about a seemingly ordinary coin, the 1971 D 1 cent piece, that might be sitting in your pocket change right now. But here's the thing, some 1971 D pennies are worth a small fortune, and if you're not paying attention, you might just miss out on an opportunity to cash in on one of these rare finds. So, what makes the 1971 D penny so special? Well, it's not just the fact that it's a coin from the 1970s, but rather a unique era that occurred during its production, which makes it valuable to collectors. And trust me, you'll want to know exactly what to look for to spot this rare treasure. Let's break it all down. Let's start by talking about the key features of the 1971 D penny. On the obverse, front, of the coin, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This iconic image of Lincoln has been a hallmark of U.S. pennies for over a century. On the reverse, back, side, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, which was designed by Frank Gasparo. This design remained on the reverse of the penny until 2009, when it was replaced by a new design to mark the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth. The D mint mark on the coin indicates it was minted in Denver, and the 1971 D penny was produced in large quantities. However, it's not just the design or mint mark that makes this coin valuable, it's a specific era that makes some of these pennies worth much more than their original face value of 1 cent. Let's talk about errors and what to look for. One of the most sought-after variations of the 1971 D penny is the 1971 D double die obverse, DDO. This is where the coin was struck twice during the minting process, causing a doubling effect on the letters and numbers on the front of the coin. The doubling is most noticeable on the date, 1971, and the word, Liberty. If you closely examine the numbers in the date, or the letters in Liberty, you may notice a faint shadow or doubling of the digits or letters. This is the hallmark of a double die error, and it's exactly what makes some 1971 D pennies incredibly valuable to collectors. Now, while the double die obverse is the most common error associated with the 1971 D penny, it's important to note that not all 1971 D pennies are double dies. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare coins? Here's how you can spot one yourself. First, take a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to examine the details of the coin. Look closely at the date, 1971, and the word Liberty on the front. If you see any signs of doubling, where the numbers or letters appear blurry or like they have a shadow, that's a strong indication you've found a double die error. The key area to focus on is the top of the numbers in 1971, as well as the L and B in Liberty. The doubling may be subtle, so make sure to carefully inspect these areas. It can also help to rotate the coin under a light source to catch any doubling that might not be visible straight on. While the double die is the most valuable version, another error that could show up is off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, making the coin appear lopsided. Although not as common as the double die, off-center strikes can still add significant value to your coin. Now, why is the 1971 D penny with these errors so valuable? As we know, the value of any coin ultimately comes down to rarity and demand. Minting errors, especially double die errors, are rare. When a coin like the 1971 D penny was mistakenly struck with the error, it created something that was never meant to exist, a unique coin that collectors are eager to add to their collections. Collectors are always on the lookout for error coins, and the 1971 D penny with a double die obverse is one of the most prized examples of a minting mistake. In fact, it's not just the rarity of the error that adds value, it's the fact that it's a piece of American history from the 1970s, a decade that is still very popular with collectors today. So, how much could a 1971 D penny be worth? Here's where it gets exciting. If you're lucky enough to have a 1971 D double die penny, depending on the condition and how noticeable the error is, it could be worth as much as $67,000. Yes, that's right, a single penny, originally worth just 1 cent, could fetch tens of thousands of dollars. Keep in mind that the value depends heavily on the quality of the coin and the strength of the doubling. Coins in excellent condition, particularly those that are uncirculated or in near perfect condition, will fetch the highest prices. If your coin has significant wear or damage, it may still be worth something, but likely less than the pristine examples that collectors crave. Now, I've got a question for you. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Or maybe you've got a 1971 D penny sitting around that you're now thinking about examining more closely? Drop a comment below and let me know if you've had any luck finding valuable coins in your collection or pocket change. That wraps up today's deep dive into the 1971 D penny. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and good luck hunting for those valuable pennies. Want to learn more about rare coins or tips on starting your collection? Check out these videos right here. See you next time. Number 4. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're into coin collecting or just love learning about rare finds, today's video is going to be an absolute treat. We're going to dive into the world of the 1981 D US penny, a coin that might seem like just another modern cent, but some of these pennies could be worth thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, thousands. So, grab your magnifying glass and get ready to learn how the 1981 D penny could be hiding a secret that makes it far more valuable than you ever imagined. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one of these rare coins and what makes it so special. First, let's break down the key features of the 1981 D penny. On the obverse, you'll see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. It's a design that has graced the U.S. penny for over 100 years. On the reverse, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, which remained the design on the reverse side of the penny until 2009. The mint mark, D, indicates that this penny was produced at the Denver Mint. In 1981, the U.S. Mint struck billions of pennies, and the 1981 D variety is a standard copper penny, made primarily from copper and zinc. But here's the thing, not all 1981 D pennies are created equal. While most of these pennies are worth only 1 cent, a select few have errors that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. What kind of errors, you ask? Let's get into it. Now, let's talk about the errors that could make a 1981 D penny worth so much more than its face value. The most notable error associated with the 1981D penny is a double die averse, or DDO. This error occurs when the coin is struck twice during the minting process, causing the features, like the date and the word, Liberty, to appear doubled on the 1981D penny. This doubling is most noticeable on the date, 1981, and the word, Liberty. If you look closely, you may see faint shadows or a blurry second outline of the numbers and letters. This is the hallmark of a double die error. It's not just about the doubled numbers. You also need to look closely at the letters In God We Trust. Sometimes, this area shows the same doubling effect. It might be a bit hard to spot with the naked eye, so don't hesitate to grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to get a clearer view. In addition to the double die, some 1981D pennies can have off-center strikes or die cracks, which also make them more valuable. These errors happen during the minting process when the coin is not struck properly. Although off-center strikes and die cracks are less common, they're still highly sought after by collectors. So, why is a 1981D penny with these errors so valuable? Well, it all comes down to rarity. Minting errors, like the double die, are relatively rare. And when collectors find a coin with an error that was never supposed to exist, it becomes a highly prized item in the numismatic world. But the 1981D penny has something even more special. It's from the early 80s, a time when coins were being produced in massive quantities. While the mint was cranking out pennies by the millions, a few errors slipped through the cracks, making these coins all the more exciting to find. Collectors are always looking for error coins to add to their collections, and the 1981D double die penny is one of those coins that can really make a collection stand out. It's an example of an unexpected mistake in the minting process, which is what makes these error coins so valuable and so desirable. Alright, so you've heard about the error and why it's valuable, but how do you actually spot one of these rare 1981D pennies in your own collection or pocket change? Let me walk you through a few easy steps. 1. Examine the date. Start by closely inspecting the date. 1981. On the obverse of the coin. Look for any signs of doubling. The numbers should be clear and crisp, but if you see a faint second set of numbers or shadows around the original digits, you've got a double die error on your hands. 2. Check the word Liberty. The next area to inspect is the word Liberty, near the top of the coin. The letters here should also be sharp and well defined. If you notice a slight shadow or a duplicate image of the letters, you're looking at a double die penny. 3. Look at In God We Trust. The word trust often shows doubling on a 1981D DDO penny. Take your time to carefully examine each letter for any signs of doubling or extra outlines. 4. Use magnification. For the best results, use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. These tools can help you see the fine details and catch subtle doubling that might not be obvious with the naked eye. Rotate the coin under a light source to make sure you're getting a good look at all the features. 5. Condition matters. The overall condition of the coin also plays a major role in its value. A penny with a clear error and little wear could be worth far more than a worn-down coin. So, if you find a 1981D penny with noticeable doubling and it's in great condition, you're sitting on a small fortune. So, what can a 1981D double die penny really be worth? You won't believe this. A 1981D penny with a clear double die error could be worth as much as $57,000. That's right, over $57,000 for a penny that was originally worth just 1 cent. Of course, the actual value will depend on the strength of the doubling, the coin's condition, and its overall appeal to collectors. But even if you don't find one worth that much, a 1981D double die penny is still a rare and valuable coin that can bring in significant money. Now, I've got a question for you. Have you ever found a rare penny or coin that you thought was just a normal piece of pocket change? Or maybe you've discovered a 1981D penny and are wondering if it could be worth something? Drop a comment below and let me know. I'd love to hear your stories. That's all for today's video. I hope you learned a little something about the 1981D penny and the hidden treasures that could be waiting in your pocket change. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an exciting coin discovery. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting! Want to learn more about rare coins or how to spot valuable finds? Check out these videos right here. See you next time.